School of Management Studies IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course MMPC-001 Management Functions and Organizational Processes for MBA program. Presenting Block 1 Introduction to Management, Unit-3 Role of Managers, Part 1.
Unit-3 Role of Managers. After completing this unit, you should be able to understand the management process, the different roles of the managers, the management skills, the levels of management, the characteristics of a manager, how to be a good manager, the changing role of a manager in the current context, and the changing role of a manager from managerial experience. Introduction. Learners, management is a process of integrating resources and tasks towards the achievement of the stated organizational goal. It is often referred to as a process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Management literature labels them as the functions of management. Thus, it involves a process which is functional and social, as well as it deals with people in the organizational context. Management process. A process is a systematic way of doing things. The management process emphasizes that all managers, regardless of their particular aptitude or skills, engaged in certain interrelated activities to achieve the desired goals. Right from the evolution of management, management thinkers have defined management process in terms of the specific functions of management. Thus, it is a process which is continuous, ongoing, and a systematic way of doing things. However, the managerial role is evidenced in an organization through the strategic, tactical, and operational responsibilities that the managers discharge in an organization. Managerial roles. A classic study of top executives found that they spend their time in performing 10 roles, which are grouped under 3 categories: interpersonal, informational, and decisional. The study was conducted by Henry Mintzberg and published in The Nature of Managerial Roles in 1973. These roles are common to the work of all managers. Let's first of all discuss about interpersonal role. The 3 interpersonal roles provide information and are primarily concerned with interpersonal relationships. As a symbolic head, the manager performs a number of routine duties of a legal and social nature. As a leader, the top-level manager represents the company legally to those outside the organization. The supervisor represents the work group to the higher management and is responsible for motivating the group along with participating in the hiring, training, and related duties as the leader. The manager uses the liaison role to gain favors from his subordinates and information, while the supervisor uses the same to maintain the routine flow of work. He also uses this role to create his own networks, external and internal, to maintain the relationships. Now let's talk about the informational role. The informational role ensures that information is provided and that the manager has enough information to do his routine work. This role links all the managerial work together. The manager in interpersonal role is placed in a unique position to receive lots of information. Thus, the three informational roles are primarily concerned with the informational aspect of the managerial role. He receives and collects information in monitoring role, resulting in a thorough understanding of the organization and its internal and external environment. Since manager monitors, it is considered the focal point of internal and external information. As the spokesperson, he transmits information to the outsiders on the organizational policies, actions, and decisions. Since the information is received, monitored, and stored by the manager, disseminates both factual and analytical information, thus serving as the industry expert, and the supervisor serves as the unit expert. Now let's come to the decisional role. The decisional role makes significant use of the information. The unique access to information places the manager in the center of the organizational decision making. There are 4 decisional roles that the manager performs. The manager initiates and searches for new opportunities and projects to initiate change in the organization in his entrepreneurial role. In the disturbance handling role, the manager deals with the threats to the organization and takes corrective action accordingly. In the resource allocation role, the manager chooses where the organization will spend for its efforts. He takes an active role in providing financial and other resources to the departments, units, and people, including approving organizational decisions in the resource allocation front. The manager negotiates on behalf of the organization in the negotiation role. He engages in negotiations with the parties outside the organization as well as inside the organization and is responsible for representing the organization in major negotiations. The top management makes the decisions for the organization as a whole, while the supervisor takes decision about the particular work unit. Thus, managers play an important role in the organization and management helps in the success of any activity in the organization. All the managers, irrespective of the level, perform these roles, with the only difference being the emphasis and focus. Supervisors perform these roles with a focused approach and short-term in outlook. The figurehead role becomes less significant and the disturbance handling and negotiation roles increase in importance for the supervisor. Since leadership permeates all the activities, the leadership role is among the most important of all the roles across all levels of management. Learners, now let's talk about management skills. A manager's job is complex, considering the functions and the roles one has to perform. Hence, they need certain skills to perform the functions associated with their job. Now, let's find out about those key skills of a manager. The first is technical skill. Technical skills are those skills which enable an individual to carry out specialized tasks or activities that involve a certain method or a process. Managers develop technical skills to perform the activities that are part of their daily work life. For the performance of such daily activities, a manager should possess a basic education in the related field and gain knowledge pertaining to the methods, processes, and procedures which are actually used. Accountants, engineers, computer professionals fall under this category as they possess technical skills required in their specialized fields. It is difficult for any manager to ensure smooth functioning on the part of his employee without requisite technical knowledge. Now, next comes human skills. Human skills relate to those skills which facilitate better coordination among the different people in the organization. Human skills influence the manager's ability to work well with people. Since all managerial activity is people-related activity, they must develop their skills to lead, motivate, and communicate effectively with their group or organization. Such skills are demonstrated while interacting with subordinates, peers, stakeholders, customers, clients, etc., and are important for all the levels of an organization. Third is design skill. It is the ability of the manager to find out solutions to the problems of an organization from time to time. Managers use these skills when they consider the overall objectives and strategy of the organization, their activities relating to the different units and their role with external members of the organization. The manager should be able to envisage the problem and should be sufficiently resourceful to solve them in an amicable manner. Without such skills, it becomes difficult for managers to put all the units in a single direction towards the accomplishment of the objectives. The design skills are not limited to the troubleshooting function but assume much more importance and includes all those activities which remove the grievances of the employees. The design skills are used with increasing frequency as a manager goes up the career ladder and assume greater responsibility in the organization. Next comes conceptual skills. The manager should have the ability to view the organization as an integrated system with its various subsystems connected to each other. An organization has a number of verticals which perform a variety of functions. The manager must be able to understand and relate his function with the other functions that are carried out in the organization using his conceptual skills. The thinking process that is inherent in the conceptual skill contributes to the managerial function of decision making. Management thinkers regard this skill as a critical skill for the top management who strategize, formulate goals and objectives for the entire organization, and also the middle management who get things done and contribute to the achievement of the goals of the organization. Now let's talk about analytical skills. The analytical skills are equally important for a manager to perform his functions. Logical analysis of the problem or the situation assumes importance in the context of organizational functioning. It is all the more significant in the current context in view of the knowledge and the data that is generated in the management of businesses across the world. In these days of data explosion, big data, data mining, data analytics have assumed significance. Technology has simplified the way the data can be treated and processed, but it becomes incumbent on the manager to interpret and make sense out of the data that is generated in the organizations. Analytical skills of the manager to apply logical and systematic approaches to analyze the alternatives and provides the optimal solution, thus assumes significance in the contemporary context. Learners, that was all about management skills. Now let's talk about management levels. In organizations which are small in size, scale, and scope, the owner manages all the activities and needs no support from others. For example, a small store or a small consultancy is handled by the founder with minimal support. However, with the growth and increase in the size of the organization, it becomes difficult for a single individual to run the business. A need for a formal organization and the establishment of formal authority structures becomes a necessity. Management activities are categorized into 3 levels: top, middle, and lower level. The 3 levels are organized along hierarchical lines so that each level could be supervised by the immediate level over and above it. The functions of each level depend on the size, scale, technology, and culture prevailing in the organization. Further, the number of managerial positions at each level differ from organization to organization. First of all, let's learn about the top level management. Top level management is concerned with the organization as a whole and has interaction with the external environment. This interaction mandates that the manager works with the individuals and outside the organization. They are appointed by the governing body of the organization and are usually referred to as the Chief Executive Officer, President, Chairman, etc. in large organizations. They are empowered to take decisions pertaining to the organization. Besides the CEO, the board also appoints the Senior Vice President, Executive Director, all of whom form part of the top level management and involved in taking decisions which affect the entire organization. They work with the middle level managers in the implementation of organizational strategy and maintain overall control over organizational performance. The role of top level management is to formulate organizational strategy and controlling resources. They are also considered the strategy architects and organizational leaders. In their leadership role, they have to create and articulate a broader corporate purpose in which people can identify and to which people enthusiastically commit. Next comes the middle level management. Middle level managers deal with the actual operations of the organization by coordinating with various departments. They are located in the organizational hierarchy below the top level management. They are responsible for the performance of managers at lower levels and are often designated as director, manager, head of the department, etc. This level is responsible for the implementation of plans and strategy developed by the top managers for the accomplishment of the organizational objectives. Most times they decide, but they also look for guidance and direction from the top management for strategy-related issues. They act as a linking pin between the higher level management and the lower level management. The last comes the lower level management. Termed as tactical management or frontline executives, these are the people who are responsible for the performance of employees involved in the actual day-to-day operations or tactical activity in the organization. They are designated as supervisors in a service setting or foreman in a manufacturing setting, and are responsible to direct the employees in achieving the targets. They implement the operational plans developed by the middle managers and are responsible for taking corrective or remedial action whenever needed. They take care of output variables like the number of units produced, labor cost, the inventory levels, quality control, etc. They are directly involved in the daily operations or activities of the organization, and their role is critical in the organization. They not only take part in creating and sustaining quality concerns, they also innovate new methods, but with the proximity to the actual work, they are expected to initiate new activities, new methods, new processes, and new ways of getting things done. So learners, these are 3 different levels of management.
You were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies, IGNOU, for MBA program. Course code MMPC-001, Management Functions and Organizational Processes. Course Coordinator, Professor Srilata, School of Management Studies, IGNOU. Voice over by Harpreet Kaur. Edited by Tarannum Jahan. Program assisted by Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.